In this tutorial, let's look at how to download and install Parquet tools and then create a hive table over the Parquet data that we wrote to HDFS from a Spark job in the previous tutorial. So you open a terminal window. So to open a terminal window, you click on at the top and you can do a wget and pass the URL that you want to download a Parquet file. So basically what you have is wget and a URL that is provided in the previous tutorial. So here you do a wget and this is the Maven repo. So there are a couple of ways you can do it. Either you can download the file, the Parquet MapReduce project from the GitHub and then build the jar file yourself, or you can do a wget and go to this Maven repository and get the jar file directly. So I'm running this in a terminal window. I press enter and it's going to download it, and it's downloading now from this particular location, Maven location, the jar file. And once you get the jar file, you will be able to run Hadoop jar, and then you will be able to get what options are available. So it has already downloaded it. So if I do lsltr, I should have the downloaded file. Here it is. This is a Parquet tools 1.90 jar. Because I downloaded it again, it has created another one called jar.1. So that's the Parquet tools here. Then you can run different Hadoop commands on it. So here I'm typing Hadoop jar and Parquet tools 1.90 jar, so which is the Parquet tools here. So this will give me different options that are available. So here are the different options that are available. You can run with the Parquet tools. So in this case, I'm going to run the meta option to get the metadata of the schema. So this will be the command. So Hadoop jar.parquet tools meta, and this is the part file that we created. This is a Parquet part file. So what's going to do is extract the schema and all the other meta information from this Parquet part file. So if I press enter here, you will see different metadata, and out of which one of them will be the Avro schema. So I'll be copying that Avro schema. There are a number of ways you can do it. You can create your own file called orders.avsc or whatever, and then you can upload that using the Hadoop fs put command. Or I already created the schema here. So if you're under Cloudera, this is the one we created for the Avro file, so we can use the same schema. So if I go into the folder where the Avro schema was created, you can even use the Avro tools and get the schema the way it is shown on the Avro tutorial. But this is just to demonstrate you can also use Parquet tools to do the same. So if I go into Avro, and you can see orders.avsc. avsc stands for Avro schema, and this is actually the Avro orders file, but we'll be using the schema. So that's the schema here. So basically I can click on the edit file and I can copy and paste. So here in the terminal you will have the schema displayed. So this example here. Here's this file schema example Avro order, and here you go, Parquet Avro schema. So Parquet Avro schema, I can copy this section here. So the schema, copy it, and then basically I pasted that inside here. So all I have to do is just paste this, Control V. That's what I did before. Oops, that's the wrong one. I didn't copy it. So select that schema. It says Parquet.Avro schema. Right click on it, copy. Then go to the Hue Hadoop user experience screen and paste this and save it. So once the Avro schema is in there, and we already know we have the parquet formatted files in the parquet and the orders folder, and I can go and create a parquet table. So I go into the hue hive screen, so you click on the hue here and then click on tables, and after you click on tables, by default it might come back with Impala, so you have to go into the queries editor and click on the hive. So interested in the hive tables. I have already created the Avro order and parquet order tables. So here is a two-step process. Firstly, you just create an Avro table just with the schema. You don't provide the location. So I'm going to drop these two tables. So drop table. Firstly, I'm going to drop the Avro order. So when we create an Avro table for the Avro data, we provided the schema location and also location of where the Avro part files are stored, the base folder of the Avro part files. But here you need to do in two steps. Firstly, you create an Avro table, just provide the schema. Then you create another table for parquet and use the keyword like over the Avro order, and then you specify your data location. So I'm going to first drop these two tables. So first this is the Avro order, and then the next one is the parquet order. So parquet order, so select this and run this on hue under hive, so you can see the hive here. Sometimes if you see Impala here, you need to select and you got to select hive. So it is successful and it should create refresh in a few seconds. So it's getting refreshed and you won't see this Avro order table. So while that's being refreshed, I'm going to run the next one. So the Avro order is gone, and also I'm going to delete the parquet order, and then we're going to create the new tables here. So I specified before, create external table. If not exist, we are calling it Avro order. The cert, the serialization, deserialization format we are saying is an Avro serialization and deserialization format. Stored as Avro, we're saying the format is Avro. And in the table properties, you're saying the schema URL is to the order.avs. This is where we create the schema, so it's a path to the order Avro schema. The next step is to create an external table. If not exist, it's called the parquet order, and we are going to, it's stored as parquet, we are saying stored as parquet. And then also here's another command called like Avro order, so like this Avro order, stored as parquet, and this is the location where the parquet files are. So it's under user cloudera parquet order. So let's run this. So firstly create the Avro table, and you will see the Avro order table in here. So this is basically only the schema. It doesn't provide any location to the actual file where it is sitting. So as specified before, all these tables, when you specify the location and the schema, it runs a MapReduce or a Spark depending on which engine you are using under the covers. But you are using SQL-like queries, and it will retrieve the data for you. So Avro order table is created. Now based on this Avro order and the format as parquet, I'm going to create the parquet table, parquet orders table. So select this, run this, and you should be seeing parquet order table here. Then I should be able to do select star from the parquet order in order to get the data that is stored. So we have 3 records that's in this location, parquet orders location, that we created via the Spark job. Table not found. Okay, it hasn't been created yet. So let's refresh this. Did I run this? No, probably doesn't. Okay, so highlight this again and run this command. So it's loading and it'll be running, and then once the parquet order has been, so it's refreshing now. Here we got, now we got the parquet order table. So I have to select, and I just do a SQL select dot star and play this, and it'll be running a Spark job under the covers. But as far as you are concerned, you're just running a select query, and here you go, 1 2 3 John, 4 5 6 Peter, 7 8 9 Samuel, and let's retrieve the data. So because I said it's under the covers, it runs a Spark job, you can easily see that. So you click on this, you go into jobs, and you can see the jobs that has been running. So it could be a Spark job, MapReduce job, and sometimes it displays as Spark over Hive over Spark. So that's what basically when you do a Hive queries, the job is tagged as a Hive over Spark or Hive over MapReduce. So whichever the engine you decide to choose, you can change the engine via a set command. So while I'm waiting for this, while also I can select any running jobs or succeeded jobs.